Been up since about 10ish. Went to a meeting to talk about the layout for the kitchens with some people nearby. Done some rendering with them and got all that sorted. Different colours, tried to decide on that. Now we've just been invited shooting. We're just going to do 50 shots down at the range, and got this bad boy to tape onto my gun so you can actually see what I'm doing. So let's do this. Woo! Just showing the sunroof. Shooting, we went for lunch, then after lunch we just come back, and I've just checked on the overhead projector thingy camera jig, and it is looking very nice. I don't know whether you can see that, that's all dry, I can't feel any lumps or bumps. Okay, yeah, a few little damages, but the learning curve that I've had with this thing has been unreal. Like, this, very, very good buy. It was only 50 quid, very happy with it. There we go. All of these joins, very nice. Haven't really used wood glue that much. I haven't actually built stuff in wood that much before this, so I'm very happy with the end result. So, this is the final result. I can't see the screen very well, but that is exactly what I wanted. So I can just be like, hey, look at this, yeah, woo! Brilliant. Okay. Mainly because I just really want to get this, want to use this thing. Here is the drawings for the downstairs kitchen. So we're going to have a larder, like a pull-out sort of thing. All of this hasn't got any handles. Pull-out thing with all your food in, drawers, cooker, waste disposal thing, because they're amazing, dishwasher and cupboard. All the wet stuff here is as far right as possible, because then that can run down to the toilet, which is that way. Then upstairs we are going to have, come on, don't break these. We're going to have sort of a slightly L-shaped kitchen. Again, this is towards the left this time, so you can get to the waste disposal in the toilet. Then you've got this waste disposal, the thing, dishwasher, storage. That's got to be sort of slightly recessed there because of that. Oh, thank you. That's going to be slightly recessed there so you can actually have access to the door. You've got glass cupboards, another larder, smaller one this time because that whole wall sloped in real life. 2 drawers, like one above each other, and a fridge. And the window is going to act like the extractor here. Yesterday I told you about these things. I think they're amazing. The only problem is Google Cardboard has a little button on it. This does not have a little button. So what I need to do, if I open that up, in there is a bit which isn't being used by anything. No matter how I do it, that central pillar there is not being used. So what I need to do is I'm going to put a little incision in there, use a bit of metal that I have, and a watch battery, so I can actually bing the screen, tap the screen. And I'm going to do that now. Okay, there's my iPhone. Now if I turn it on, like so, you can see that this watch battery actually works as a screen clicker. So all I'll have to do is attach that on a bit of metal which I have in the garage. Get that so it's sitting in there somewhere, like that. And then when I press it, it'll click up. Now to get the bounce that I want, I'm going to use this, which is an old phone case of mine, which I've chewed to shreds, as you can see. I think I'm just going to trace out that circle and then cut it out again and again because I really like that shape. Then use the actual metal bit to push. Okay, so right now I've got this little bit of metal here, which you're probably not going to be able to see. There you go. This little bit of metal, which I'm going to make the sort of the toggle out of. I've got a few little just tools. I don't know how on earth I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make it using these. I've also got my Dremel, just because I think that would be unbelievably useful with the cutting tool. And I've got my ruler. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to start by marking out which side it wants to be on the left-hand side, so that was already a mistake. Yeah, left-hand side. So it wants to be on this side. So I think I'm going to start off by marking on. There looks like there's a weak point already there. So I'll mark on there and make a cut using the Dremel. I don't know whether there's a better way of doing this. I can't really think of one. Might ask my dad quickly, just because he's usually comes up with some pretty clever ideas. Just make a small cut in there. So yeah, let's get out a Sharpie and do this. Okay, I've just been trying a few things on this bit of plastic, which is just an old bike tyre thing, mudguard, using the Dremel, and it's not really working because it's just too big. Yeah, I think I'm going to use a drill bit now. A drill, just drilling a small hole in it is going to be the best idea, or maybe 2 holes, and then I can just measure that up and cut it out of the blue stuff. So using the Dremel and a drill bit sort of part, I've managed to make those 2 holes. I've got a couple more things to try, a couple more drill bits to try and make that a bit smaller. But I think that is the way to go, Dremel and drill bit rather than anything else. I think, don't know how well you can see this, but just there, I think we have a winner there. How thick is that stuff? Can that stuff fit through it? Perfect. That is what I'm going to use. Mark that up now. That is about 1 centimetre. So now I might use these, or I might use the Dremel as a cutting tool. Not 100% sure. Probably going to use these pliers. I'm actually going to go and do it with a hand saw in the garage because neither of those things are going to work. I cut the little thing and it was all wibbly wobbly. So I got some sanding paper out and started sanding it down. Just I put it in the vise at 1 centimetre, so I could just sand it down to the vise sort of thing. And that was taking too long, so I went and got the Dremel, and now it's done. Took about 30 seconds, and hang on. There is your 1 centimetre piece. Not perfect, but it would do. So as it turns out, that gap where that mark is just about 1 centimetre. So I'm actually going to file this down again now. I'm going to use another Dremel bit. I'm going to file it down to just a little bit smaller than this. Just sort of maybe like a millimetre off. Knock a millimetre off and then it will fit perfectly. So everything right now is going okay. The only problem is the Dremel's run out of battery. So I'm going to have to fix that and die. Dremel is now charging. Wait half an hour and then I'll finish this project. Shouldn't take too long. Actually, I might cut the rubber. But anyway, right now, I is watching the Willy Wonka. Woo! Don't you just love him? Okay, a minute ago the camera and the drum were cut out, sort of kind of simultaneously, but I've managed to cut that down to pretty much half the size. Cut out these 2 rubber bits and make the slits in them for the metal bit to go through. Now I'm just waiting for the drummer to charge, and then I'll make the incision in there, glue it all together, bend that, and then it should work. And glue the battery on. That's all I need to do now. Okay, so I'm just going to get this. So it's got the little, what am I looking for? The drill bit attached. Now I'm going to take out the lenses of this, just because I don't want to damage them with too much dirt, even though they are dirty as hell already, but if I damage them properly, I am screwed. It's not worth doing. So the lenses are out. Left-hand side, so this side is the one that I'm doing. That's on there. Now let's just drill. Fairly sure I can do this accurately. Okay, this works fairly nicely. There's a little cut. That should fit through. Oh, perfect. That was lucky. Just looking at this, that actually I don't think needs any bending. I think I'm just going to glue the battery directly on that now and get it attached, and then I'll shorten that afterwards. I'll cut that somehow. But that's looking good. I'm happy with that. just trying this out just to see how that spring back works. It does work quite nicely, but that's without gluing it. But they, I have now realised, need cutting down a bit because they're actually not going to fit as they are right now. I've been absolutely fooled and stupid. Basically, although yes, when I have my finger behind that and tap the screen with it, it works. If I use a bit of cloth and use it, it doesn't. I'm going to leave it for a little bit, Google, see whether how well this will work even if I fix it, see what other people have done. I'm annoyed, very annoyed. Right now I can see two fixes to this problem. One is I make it so it works, so I scratch off a bit of metal there, so I'm touching the aluminium underneath, and then I rip off that magnet, try and remelt it on, only attaching around the side, so the metal is actually touching the metal of the magnet. That way it will work. Yeah, but I've got to get rid of quite a lot of hot glue. The only other option is just rip it all out, tape it up, and go without.
I would.
I kind of don't want to do that though. Okay, I've got the button out now. I know I'm conscious this vlog is going to be really long today. I've got that out. I'm just going to try and get as much of that off as I can and rethink my strategy. Okay, it's getting late. I'll show you my fix on the headset thing in the morning because I'm conscious this is a lot of recording for today. Joe's just turned up with a little RC boat, so I'm going to do a little GoPro of it and put that as my final closing scene like this.